The way you treat me, Preston, and, well, you're condescending. Me? Condescending, I thought, as if they know the pressure I have to deal with, like they have the experience to do what I do. Before their departures, I thought I was on the fast track to success. I figured that if I continued driving change, performing well, and delivering results during my new assignment, I would be promoted again. My leadership skills were blooming, and I was confident in my ability to make a positive difference. But somewhere in my ambition to succeed, I lost my focus on God. I started leaving Him at home and did not live out my Christian faith in the workplace. I saw my faith and work as two separate things. My priorities got out of whack. My thoughts and actions were self-serving. I didn't necessarily care about people, only what they could do for me. All too soon, our results nosedived. I struggled to gain traction with my new manager, team, and business partners. I constantly bickered with my manager and always felt like I had to prove myself. I felt maltreated and disrespected. I saw my team as a means to an end and never made any true connections. Then those two direct reports left. Covering for my lost employees, I constantly traveled and consequently exhausted myself. Career-wise, I had hit rock bottom. At that point, I journaled, "My heart is heavy today. I feel crushed. The past few weeks were extremely difficult. Another employee quit. I received feedback on my condescending tone again, role shift, and an overall feeling of devaluation. My manager continues to dissect every comment I make and criticize my actions. This year's been a valley of despair. I feel torn apart and weak." Inevitably, my challenges at work spilled over to my home life, where I was always irritable. To top it off, my beloved grandfather, Papa, passed away. Something had to change. Thankfully, my manager directed me to engage an executive coach to help me fix things, and so I did. I also began to pray and read the Bible more intentionally. I sought God's help in the depths of my despair. As I prayed and worked with my coach, I realized the common thread in all my issues was me. I was not acting like a leader, at my job, in my home, or of myself. My spiritual life and work life were incongruent. I went to church on Sunday, but acted like an atheist during the work week. At work, I thought I had all the leadership and management stuff figured out, and did not need God's wisdom, help, or direction. In other words, I was condescending even toward God. Still, through these trials and tribulations, God answered my prayer and broke me. In my breaking, I realized I needed to change before I could create positive change in the workplace. I discovered that the surest way to realize my leadership potential was to become a follower of Jesus, not just on Sunday or at home, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I needed to take what I learned in the church pew and live it out in the workplace. I needed to become a discipled leader. I have worked at Fortune 500 companies for decades. I know what it is like to be responsible for multi-million-dollar budgets, to lead employees of all kinds, and to work for highly driven executives. I have been blessed to be recognized within my industry many times over for the work that my team and I have accomplished. I believe I'm a hard worker who asks the best of myself and my employees. My professional path has not always been smooth. Whose is? But I remain grateful for every job I have had. My career has given me much. But I never want to lose sight of my first calling as a disciple of Christ. Yet, when you spend 40 to 80 hours a week at your job, it is easy to lose your perspective. You slide into the false belief that what you do defines who you are, rather than allowing who you are to define what you do.